Nobody seems to like EMGs anymore, nobody seems to like active pickups as a whole, and the few people left that are using actives are most likely using Fishman Fluences. I feel like EMGs have this gimmicky thing of the past sort of image to them, yet I bought some. And I'm not only gonna tell you why, but I'm also gonna tell you why I think this is a bigger lesson on guitar gear and guitar gear purchasing. Let me just play a little piece of music I recorded using the EMGs and then we'll get to that. Pickups don't matter. Okay, let me actually be a little more clear. So, although I haven't done any scientific level shootouts, what I've done is I've taken a guitar, I've plugged it in, I've recorded a DI, then I've plugged another guitar in, recorded another DI, and compared. And the differences are not that humongous. Let's for example say that the difference between a very cheap passive single coil, like the one you find in like a Squier or in like any $100 guitar, the difference between that and a Fishman Fluence modern humbucker is about this much. I'm not saying this is a lot, I'm not saying this is a little either, I'm just saying that let's say it's this much for reference. If that difference is this much, then the difference between the guitar tones that I'm creating right now and the ones that I'm hearing on my favorite records is like around this much. That's what I mean when I say pickups don't matter. Then why did I buy EMGs? Well, let me start off by saying that the reason I bought pickups in the first place was because my guitar was not in working condition. Like no sound was coming out of the output jack. The electronics were in a very horrific state. There was a little piece of solder, like the wire that you're supposed to melt to make a connection. A piece of that wire was used to connect 2 points in the electronics. It was ridiculously bad, and so I wanted to just pull out everything, throw it away, and put in a whole new set of electronics, pots, switches, everything. And the EMG 8185 Zakk Wylde set offered exactly that. That's one of the reasons why I bought it. The second and one of the biggest reasons is the ease of installation. EMGs have this solderless system where you don't have to touch a soldering iron to install anything. You literally just plug everything in and it works. I am very not talented, very naturally not drawn to working on guitars, although I've tried doing that. I just suck at it and I haven't bothered to learn it. And so I wanted to just order a whole set of electronics that can be very easily installed in a guitar. And the EMGs are exactly that. Now, a downside is that they don't include the pickup selector switch in the entire set, so I did have to buy that separately. I still bought an EMG one, so it has the solderless connection thing. But yeah, it was an extra 20 or 30 bucks. Which brings me perfectly to my next point, which is the price. EMGs are very cheap. Okay, maybe not very cheap. I'm sure they make a pretty good profit margin on them, but they're very reasonably priced. The set I bought was 169 euros at Thomann. I'm sure it's pretty much the same price at Sweetwater, but that's without the switch, so if you add like 20 bucks more, it's more or less 200 bucks for the whole thing, which in my personal opinion is a very good price. Now, a very easily installable entire set of guitar electronics for 200 bucks was honestly enough of a reason for me, but I actually had 2 more. Now, when EMGs were most popular, I don't think I was alive. I'm not sure exactly when that was, you can tell me down in the comments. But even if I was alive, I was not really into guitars or pickups or anything. The nostalgia factor with me here comes with Jared Dines. When I was 12-13 years old, I was already playing guitar, but I was just starting to get into metal, and that was all because of Jared Dines and his videos. Now, his most cherished and first electric guitar was an Ibanez SZ520, which he later put an EMG 81 and 85 in. My first electric and most cherished guitar, my Core M200, by coincidence also happened to be an affordable PRS shaped guitar. And well, I've always wanted to put EMGs in it. Like, I've always thought of this guitar as an unfinished product. I've always imagined that in its final form it will have EMGs. Now it has them. It was just a thing of mine, a dream of mine even, and I fulfilled it. Like, my purchase of EMGs had a big nostalgia factor in it. And the fourth, final, last reason why I bought them was the sound. I don't mean the sound as in my guitar sounded bad before with the old pickups and now it sounds good with the EMGs. As I said, my guitar didn't sound like anything. It did no sound. No sound was coming out of it. But that's not the point here. When I say sound, I don't mean that I wanted a tone improvement, an improvement on my guitar tone. No. What I wanted was to not have the excuse of pickups. Although I do believe in the opinion that I stated a bit earlier about the differences, I've still caught myself blaming the pickups as the reason why my guitar doesn't sound good. And although I consciously know that that's not true, I sometimes doubt it, and I just decided to throw a bit of money at the problem to just not have the excuse of pickups. Like, I know that this EMG set can produce tones that I like. This cannot be the culprit to why I don't like my guitar sounds. Okay, that's all cool, but what's the bigger lesson that I was talking about? Well, buy whatever the fuck you want to. EMGs are not a thing anymore. Like, EMGs are kind of headed on, like,
oh, they don't have dynamics, so they're like a thing of the past, blah 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 blah.
If you want to buy something and if you think that a specific product makes sense for you, buy it. If I listen to the people telling me that pickups don't matter and I should not buy pickups, or at least not nice pickups, because technically I could have bought like the cheapest possible passive ceramic pickups and the cheapest possible pots and jacks and stuff like that, but I'm happy I didn't. I'm happy I spent the more money because how easy the install was. Like, I believe that you can give an EMG set to a 5-year-old, and if it's a patient 5-year-old, it can definitely figure it out. No, I don't mean definitely. I don't know what 5-year-olds can and can't do, but you get the point. They're very easy to install. And if I had bought like Fishman Fluences, for example, and even if I had paid for somebody to install them, so I don't have to bother with the whole thing, I would still have like this ick to own a guitar with EMGs just because of the nostalgia factor. So I believe that we as guitar players and as guitar gear purchasers and buyers should look way more into what we actually want and stop giving so many shits and fucks, especially the flying ones, to what people on the internet say. Actually, I'm a person on the internet, so that's like, you should not give a fuck what I'm saying right now about. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really want this channel to become a very cool space full of very cool people where we all help each other and give each other tips, tricks, experiences, and so on and so forth about recording, playing, and making metal music at home. So if that sounds interesting to you, don't forget to subscribe. If you have any thoughts on the matter about pickups, about EMGs, about anything, please don't hold them to yourself and leave a comment down below. Thank you so much to everyone who watched and commented on the last video. For the people watching in the future, that's the free plugins video. That video did pretty well for my channel. I'm so happy about the conversation we had in the comments. Part 2 of that is coming soon and it's gonna be really cool, so definitely stay tuned for that. If you're watching this in the future, I will have probably left it somewhere in the description. Bye bye.